Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another live stream draw along. My name is Kat Huang. I am a teaching artist here at Art Prof, and I'm joined today by fellow teaching artist Jordan McCracken Foster. Today, we are continuing our character designs in Procreate. If you want to nerd out about art, Art Prof has everything you need, from tutorials to critiques to a community of fellow art nerds. And remember, you can draw along with us in any media you prefer. It does not have to be Procreate, anything you choose. And remember to post what you create in the Art Prof Discord in the Draw Alongs channel so we can admire your masterpieces. So let's just get started and continue these character designs.
Yeah.
Jordan, do you want to explain what you're going to do with my character, with me?
Yeah, so the way that we started these first drawings is we were primarily just going through the idea stage, and we were just like, should he have this? Should she have this? And coming up with ideas, and you guys helped. And so now we're gonna do a cleaner version, and it's gonna involve us redrawing the character, getting the proportions right, cleaning up the design, and all of that stuff. So that's gonna be our process for today, and we'll see how far we can get.
Cool. Yep. We're going to start from scratch and make a new drawing, but with the same ideas we had before. But I do want to highlight that I want to change a little bit of the concept, a big part of the concept for Jordan's character. So I made Jordan a jester before, and then I was looking back at my own work and I was like, oh my gosh, I already have a jester character. I basically just like riffed off of that idea without realizing it. So instead of a jester, I'm going to make Jordan a cowboy. Color scheme, logos, animal familiar bear, all the same, but just like with a cowboy hat and cowboy boots.
Heck yeah. I love it. I love it. I don't think I've ever imagined myself as a cowboy at all. So that's fun. It's gonna be cool. I'm gonna change my pose for you, because the first one that I did, I think the staff was like a later idea, or the ink pen staff. It's so now I want to come up with something cooler, so I'm actually basing it off of Okoye from Black Panther, because she has a really pose, and I think it's gonna look cool.
Art Prof is asking, what's it like to come back to these designs after being away from them for a while? That's a good question. As I said before, I sort of reflected back on my other work, and I realized there were too many similarities and that I needed to change some stuff. So going away and coming back to your work is a good way to just like get a fresh view on it and see what else needs to be changed. What about you, Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like I'm starting from scratch almost. There was an attachment that I had to the previous drawing, but now it's been so long, it's like I'm reintroduced to it. And I think as I continue to draw, I'll remember some of the ideas I had, like, oh yeah, that's right, I wanted to add this, and I wanted to fix that, and all that. So I think it should be fun.
So I'm going to do a dramatic pose for Jordan. How do you say this? From bottom view up? Dramatic.
Oh, am I tipping my hat?
Yes.
Epic. That's going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to that. Oh, man. Yeah. For me right now, I'm focusing on proportion and stuff. That's always been a huge thing for me, because without getting the right proportion, I feel like the whole drawing to me would just be off, and it's one of the first things I notice. So I'm using this grid here to help me, because I don't have time to be super rough with it anymore.
Usually when it comes to proportion, I just wing it, because I've drawn humans before. I basically draw and redraw until it feels right, until it seems proportionally correct. J.I. is asking, I wish I was better at Procreate. I can paint just fine on a canvas with a brush and oil paints, but I get to Procreate and it's a hot mess. Yeah, as with any medium, it just comes with practice. And to be honest, I'm still like kind of new with Procreate. I'm still not completely comfortable with it, but it's kind of similar to other digital software that I've used before. So I sort of have an advantage in that case. Jordan, can you talk a little bit about how you started with Procreate?
Yeah, Procreate was tough at first, because everything has a learning curve. Everything that's brand new to you, you're not going to be able to get right away. And I think that's part of the process of learning. Like, you hand a 5-year-old Dr. Seuss book, he's not going to be able to read the whole thing, and it's something that you develop over time. And so I wouldn't put too much pressure on yourself to get it just right. I would just say continue working on it, learn the tools, uh, just play with it, see what you can do, what the tool offers. There's tons of resources online, YouTube videos. Even Procreate itself has a YouTube channel where they go over all that stuff. So yeah, just have fun with it. And that goes for any other digital software too. Like I don't understand most 3D softwares at all. Let's see. Tom G says, do you miss the opportunity to post your art up on a wall to look at when using digital?
Yeah, I do. Because, well, especially in recent years, I've started doing way more traditional work. When I was in high school and early college, I guess, I was all about digital artwork. So I didn't really miss it then because I was like, I didn't know what I was missing out on. But then as I was doing more traditional work later, yeah, I do miss it. But, you know, each medium has its pros and its cons. What about you, Jordan?
Yeah, the one thing I do miss it as the final result. I don't miss the process of figuring out how to print it and color correct it and spending all my money on getting the right paper and all that stuff, because that can be a headache when deadline. So that part I definitely don't miss. But it is cool seeing your work on the wall and getting some sort of feedback from your peers and all that. That is enjoyable.
I have to Google image a cowboy hat because it's a very unique silhouette. I don't want to get it wrong.
Oh no, I totally understand. I have Google and Pinterest up right now for poses and references and stuff like that because, like, why torture myself? Why make it more difficult? We're already trying to do something. I mean, doing character design is difficult in general, even though it's very enjoyable. And I figured, you know what? It makes it a little easier. Why not? Why not just do it?
Ugh. Okay, see, you know what this is bad about Google imaging a reference photo is that you get a hat or you get a picture of whatever you need. Like, here's a hat, right? But it's not the right angle. It's not the right angle that I want it to be in.
Yeah, that's the pain. That's why shooting your own reference is so helpful.
Yeah.
Because that's a struggle. I know exactly how that is. Let's see. Getting this pose. This sometimes can be so annoying for me. Just getting this right pose and making sure that the gesture is satisfying. It's tough. Oh, Kat, you have a question. Can you explain how you are creating the foreshortening in the figure?
I am eyeballing it. I kind of try to see everything in basic 3D shapes. So the head is some weird oblong circle, an oval kind of thing, and it's looking up like that, right? And then the torso itself is some sort of like weird roundish shape here, right? If I were to draw a cross on it, it would look like this. And everything else is just like attachments to these big basic shapes. So I would just like imagine the torso as a simple shape and then imagine that shape at a certain angle, at a certain perspective, and then I would draw the body based on that. Hope that answers your question. And also just keep in mind anything farther away from you will be smaller. Like this hand right here is a lot smaller than this hand right here, right?
There we go. I asked Kat earlier if I should change her hair because originally we had it like this, where it's just long and flowy. We're still going to keep the blue tips, I think, because it's going to be cool that way. But she was like, "No, let's do the ponytail." And personally, I kind of like this now. I think it looks kind of cool.
I mean, you can still give me blue tips.
Oh, I'm totally doing that. Oh, that's not negotiable.
I'm glad to hear.
That's like my favorite part of the hair. So we have to do that. So I'm curious. Oh, wait, we got a question. Jordan, why did you have that grid behind your figure before? Oh, okay. So the grid is one of those features in Procreate that can really help you when you're trying to keep things proportionate. And when I was drawing the figure, I was using the 8-head canon, which is a way you can measure the proportions of the body. And so I made it so that from the hairline to the chin was the equivalent of one box, and then I counted 8 of those, so I could basically proportion out how long the legs were, how long the torso was, and all that. Just makes it much faster for me. But Kat, I had a question. Why a cowboy? Because we didn't discuss this. You're just like, I'm gonna do this.
To be honest, I was just thinking of weird occupations with very specific hats, because I had a jester before, right? That's a very specific hat. And I was like, oh, cowboy's pretty specific. So I just went with cowboy. And I thought, oh, that would look really cool with like the red Michael Jackson leather jacket that I gave you.
That's so awesome. Yeah, the second you told me that you were going to do that, I was just like immediately amused. I was like, yes, this has to happen. This is I approve. I never thought of.
We have a comment from Seven Angelic for you, Jordan.
The ponytail does seem very characteristic of Kat. There we go. See? That's one of those things where like going back to it later on can be helpful, because for whatever reason, it didn't cross my mind in the original. In the original. And give the little art brush staff spear thing.
I'm gonna give you a Western belt. You know, the ones with like the very specific buckle. I'll do it later.
Do it. All that stuff I'm totally cool with. Just have fun.
Thanks.
I know that's so vague, but I think that's the best part about character design is you can just have a ton of fun. And there's no like right or wrong answers. There's just some principles to watch out for, I think.
Oh man. Okay, so if we weren't like on live right now or anything, I would totally just go and have my own photo shoot for this, because this is like a really complex kind of outfit and also a really complex pose. So I would take pictures of similar items of clothing. Like if I had a leather jacket, I would wear it and see how it folds around the body. How if I raised my arm, how would it function? Like it would change and warp in certain ways. I would wear a hat. If I had a cowboy hat, I would wear that, but I don't. I'd also would take a picture of myself at this position from this point of view, or have someone pose for me and take a picture of them doing that.
You know, something you just said reminded me of something. You said, I don't have a cowboy hat, but in a situation for you guys, if you're trying to get reference, you can just find some sort of replacement, like a hat with a brim that looks similar, like a fedora or whatever. That could also work, you know, like even if it's not the exact same thing, you as the artist have the creative ability to warp the shape in whatever way is useful for you. Oh, come on. Still getting used to this reference tab. It's so nice, but every once in a while it gets a little finicky. I'm liking this post. I'm liking this so far. Ain't nobody gonna mess with you, Kat.
I'm gonna reference what I had before. Okay, I had these like wild big shoulders. Oh, I totally forgot about the glasses. All right, put those glasses in.
Seven Angelic says, ooh, the belt should have a Spider-Man logo on it. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes. I like the way you think.
I will put it in eventually. Like Spider-Man, like that, right? The eyes. Am I mistaken? Eyes, what? Right? Oh wait, no, Spider-Man is spider, right? I'm so stupid.
Well, you're talking about his mask or like the actual spider. That one person says, well, since Kat is making Jordan into a cowboy, I low-key want to hear y'all do a country accent. I don't think that's gonna work out well. I'll be honest, there are some accents from my own family that I don't understand because they're from some of my family's from the deep south. And I remember one time my cousin asked me to go tell my aunt something, and I asked her like 4 times and I didn't understand what she said. So I remember going into the hallway and standing there for like 3 minutes, like counting. And she goes back out and she goes like, what did she say? I was like, you know, I think you should just go and talk to her. She said you should come in. It's like, I don't understand. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't want to do a southern accent. At worst, at best, I'll sound like a fool, and at worst, I'll sound like a fool.
Especially since it's live on the internet, everyone's going to be able to see this and replay this. Like, nice try though. Gotta look up some anime faces because I gotta do the anime style for you, Kat. There's no way I have to. It's just let's see.
Okay, I have some basic drawing here. I'm gonna try to make it look like you, Jordan, which is tough because again, I don't really have a reference of you at this angle.
Oh, I'll just do this the whole time.
I have these references. I'm gonna copy paste them into a new layer. Shoot. Come on. Can't do anything in Procreate.
Don't struggle. It's okay. It's just a drawing program. Let's see. Gotta get that right expression. I don't know if I should make you like do a slight smirk or you just like don't come in here with that mess type of look. I don't know.
Our prof says, Kat, how much of the original design will you keep now that you've changed some of it with the cowboy hat? Well, let's go and take a look at it again, just as a refresher. Oh my gosh, it's getting messy. All right. Pretty much, I will keep everything except for the hat and the shoes, which is kind of tough call, right? Because they're kind of iconic. But I'm just switching out the hat for a cowboy hat and the boots for cowboy boots. That's pretty much it. So everything else will stay. The glasses, the color scheme, the lightning bolt icons, the bear, maybe not the bear. I don't have enough time to draw a bear.
You just copy and paste the bear from the last one.
But like,
cool.
The thing about this particular drawing that we did originally is that it's so messy and like stiff. It's very stiff, which is why I'm redrawing the whole thing. That's how I usually draw my characters. I start off with kind of a stiff, very quick drawing to figure out ideas, and then I go for the actual drawing.
Yeah, that's usually my process too. And sometimes it's really annoying because I'm like, sometimes doing the clean line work again is just like super time consuming, but it's so worth it in the end when it looks really good. But that's your favorite phase, right? The line art stage, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think mine's probably the sketching. I feel the most free at that point. But I want to be one of those artists. I actually have a few friends who are able to kind of skip the sketch stage. Like their sketch is the final line art. And it makes me angry because I can't do that yet. Tom G, do you plan background before beginning the image or just add it later? I'm guessing it's easier to do background after the figure in digital versus other mediums, but does it affect the continuity? You want to answer that one, Kat? Or do you want to?
Sure. I usually do background and character in conjunction together, but this drawing is just a character drawing, so I'm not going to have much of a background. Maybe just like a swath of color or something like that. Very simple. But the star of the show here is really the characters, since this is a character design tutorial. But normally I would do both at the same time. What about you, Jordan?
Yeah, I agree. And part of the reason for that, especially when you have something complex, like a lot of perspective, it's really important to make sure you do those at the same time, because if you draw your figure and you have a giant building next to them and they're like the same size as a 9-foot sky, 9-foot story, then there's somewhere you went wrong with it. So yeah, I think always keeping that in mind is really important. Okay. All right, I'm not filling the eyes just yet, but I'm gonna skip it just for now. Let me give you your headband like you should, because I think because of Naruto we put it in last time.
Yeah.
Because of Naruto.
All because of Naruto.
Yeah, I'm just blaming on that.
Man, with this kind of angle, it's going to be really hard for me to make it look like you, but I'm going to try.
You can do it. I believe in you. Well, okay then. I tried, guys. I tried. That one person says line art only goes two ways: amazing or completely horrible. Yeah, that's kind of true. The thing with line art is, I think a lot of it is just practicing it over and over again because it feels so final, you know. And what I had to do for a long time to trick myself, actually, uh, I wouldn't do my final line art in the color black because that felt too final for me, and it felt like, oh man, if I mess up, then it's going to be horrible and all that, and I would get super self-conscious. So I would change the color of my lines to be like a red or a blue, so it felt more like a sketch. And psychologically, it would help me out. I don't know why, but it made things easier for me.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if it's that visible. It's not. It's not really. But I'm using brown to draw my line art. I'm not using black. Sort of similar with Jordan's insight. It feels too final when you do black, and also feels really automatic. Like it feels kind of mechanical when you just use straight black, which is why I like to use a more organic color like brown.
Yeah. And you can always change it later. Like that's never a problem, especially with digital. I mean, even if you're doing it traditionally, you could always just change the color. You can always change the colors in Photoshop later if you're inking traditionally. Okay. Now it's time to really get into this outfit.
It's really hard to tell if this looks like you from this angle. You know what? Maybe that's my plan. Maybe I'll make an angle that's so hard to tell who it is.
You just gotta make it. You just gotta give it a speed bubble and make it say something I would say, like Spider-Man is awesome or something. I don't know.
Like 1,000 heads.
I always say that. You gotta give it in the proper context. I don't just say that like some sort of twitch, you know. Let's see. Oh yeah, we gotta give Cat the war paint too. I almost forgot about that. It's the epicness.
What the heck? How does a beard function?
Hair grows out of your chin. That's about it. Do you recommend longer, more continuous lines or shorter lines to create a long one? I personally recommend longer, continuous lines. There's a habit of people when they're doing one line where they'll do what some people will call like chicken scratch, and it's kind of like this, and it doesn't feel very fluid. Whereas if you can get a nice smooth line, it just feels more organic. I don't know, maybe Kat has another opinion now.
I mean, of course I agree with Jordan, but I'm like kind of doing the chicken scratch thing now. I would say for inking, for final line art, definitely those long flowing lines are what you want. But the reason why I have such short lines is because there are a bunch of like little, I don't know, planes and bends and stuff that make a character look like a character. And that's what I'm trying to figure out right now.
Yeah, it's definitely not a character. Yeah, there's a lot of challenges when it comes to doing that. And you know what a lot of artists will do, especially when they're working digitally, is they'll just draw past the line. Like if they're trying to do, like if I'm drawing the shoulder right here, they'll draw the deltoid and they'll be like, bam. And then they'll go past and go, bam. And then they'll come back and do that. And then at the end, they'll erase those extra lines and then curve those points in order to preserve the fluidity of that line. And that to me, I find very helpful actually. Yeah, but it also depends on the style you're going for. Sometimes not everything is necessary or serving you when you're doing your drawing.
Soy Tenley says, I can't imagine Kat having such a stern look. can be stern.
I could draw her smiling, but I don't know if that's intimidating enough, because she's gonna be having like this "don't mess with me" kind of vibe. You know? That's certainly been a group critique with Kat before.
Ooh, Clara might have tea on that. I've been in Clara's class once as a student and once as a TA, like a brick and mortar class. Oops. And there have been critiques, guys. There have been critiques where people had to know what they were doing. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, crit time can be scary every once in a while. I don't know why I gave you this vest thing. I don't know if I want to keep that. I'll get Kat's input. What do you think? Should we keep this vest that I gave you?
I think you should, just because that's very iconic from the universe you're drawing inspiration from, Naruto.
I see. Okay, all right. We'll make it work. We'll make it work.
What were the other options, though?
I don't know. I just wasn't something about. I was just like, I don't know anymore, because I don't remember the whole conversation we were having a few weeks ago when we did this. So now I'm just like, does this still work?
But like, what would you give me otherwise? Because, you know, I'm happy to ditch the ugly vest.
I don't know. Maybe I would maybe I would just open it up and have had like some sort of design on a shirt for you or something. Or
yeah, absolutely, go for it. You know, I don't want you to completely copy Naruto characters.
Oh, I don't know enough about them to copy. Let's see. Someone made a really good suggestion about the bands on the arm, but last time, but I don't remember what they were. Dang it! If you're watching the stream, please help me. One of the other things I also find really helpful, this is where layers comes in handy, is drawing the sketch of the body on one layer, lowering the opacity, and then doing more cleanup stuff on the top.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing too.
Heck yeah, thinking alike. That's what I'm talking about. That doesn't feel right. All right, I gotta move this arm a bit. Let's see here. This stage of drawing characters is, I think, really fun, because when you get a cool pose and the character looks finalized, it just feels so. For me, it's like, yeah, I'm professional. Like, look at me go. I always get motivated after I see the end of it, you know?
Our prof is asking, Kat, how are you making up those wrinkles in the arm? Well, I'm kind of imagining how a leather jacket would function. So if a leather jacket had structured shoulders and you lifted up your arm, the shoulder would lift up with it like that. It's very unlike the sweater I'm wearing right now. Sorry about that, can't show you. But other than that, I would just kind of draw inspiration and also knowledge from things I've drawn before. So I've drawn arms clothed before, and I've seen how clothing wrinkles and stuff when you do that.
I don't know what design I'm doing up for this, but whatever. It's all good.
But actually, riffing off of what I was saying before, I would just get a reference. I would wear a leather jacket, I would do the pose, and then I would draw those folds. That is the best way to go about it. Oh, Blue Wolf Spirit is asking, why does Jordan always have those glasses on? Well, previously it was part of his character design. As you can see here, he has those green glasses. I honestly put them because, I don't know, it just seems kind of like a design element that Jordan likes to use all the time in his own drawings. If you go look at them, they always have like glasses of weird, funky colors. And I also think it looks nice with the rest of his outfit to have that touch of green. So that's why I have glasses. Not for practical purposes, just for it to look good.
I only have one character with glasses, though, that I put out. Maybe it's just a strong design. Maybe that's it, and it just stuck with you. I'll take that. I'm tooting my own horn now. Let's see.
Neftali is asking, do you think of a scenario with the character or no to make the character believable? I think, yeah. I think unconsciously we are, because I haven't really thought, oh, Cowboy Jordan is in a scenario right now, but I sort of automatically had him sort of pose and look off into the distance like cowboys usually do, all pensively and stuff. So I guess, yeah, I usually also just actively think about scenarios they would be in, but unconsciously, I guess I'm also thinking about that kind of thing too. What about you, Jordan?
Yeah, for me, I'm just thinking like someone, like Cat's walking in on the street and someone's about to battle, or they're trying to pick a fight. She's like, you messed with the wrong one today. You messed with the wrong. She's getting the action pose. You know what I think of though, Kat, when I see the drawing that you're doing of me is
what?
The famous quote where it says, "This town ain't big enough for the two of us."
Yeah.
I don't know why, I just picture that.
Okay, so one thing I like to do with hands especially is just take a selfie with like the pose I want. So I'm going to take a selfie and draw my hand that way. If I had a cowboy hat, I would hold it like that. All right.
Now I gotta get.
That's my selfie. That's my hand. You see that? Now I'm going to draw that hand.
I do that all the time. I have all these files on iPhoto on my computer of just me doing weird hand poses that go back for like years. I was like, I might need this again someday, so why get rid of it?
Oh, I'm like notorious for deleting anything I don't need immediately. So I'm like, oh, picture with hands? Well, I'll hopefully still have hands the next time I need a reference photo of hands. I'll just take another picture, you know?
You know, if that was the first concern you had, you didn't have hands anymore. I might have some questions for you. I feel like if you're doing hands, I'm like, are you even taking a reference of yourself? Of your own hand? How does that even work? Let's see. Some cool straps here. The other thing about character design that makes it tough is just finding the right balance between things. You know, I feel like it's so easy to go super overboard with props and designs and things like that, but it's also really easy to like undersell. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. To be honest, this is kind of the first quote unquote fantastical character design I'm really doing, because I don't usually make stories about fantastical lands or people. A lot of my character designs look like actual people because my stories are usually slice of life, docudrama kind of scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't actually have this problem with crazy props or anything like that.
Yeah, I have that problem because I tend to undersell it, so I have to think incredibly hard about what sort of things I want to give my characters, which is what really gives them personality. So it creates a lot of challenges.
Mm. Our prof is asking, well, I always think that staging your reference photos is the most effective strategy. How do you know when it's worth doing that versus the quick selfie you just took of your hand? You know, taking reference photos doesn't take that long. So even when staging stuff, you can just snap a million photos of everything and anything of all angles. And that really doesn't cost you much time at all. So if you can, I would really stage as much as you can if you have that opportunity. But if you're sort of, I don't know, lazy or pressed for time, or you're in the middle of a live stream that you can't get up and leave from, then maybe just a quick selfie will do. You know, as long as you have some sort of content to help you, then you're good.
Yeah, I feel like expressions and hands are the two things you can pretty much get at any given point, but everything else is kind of up for debate. Like if you need a reference of a foot or something, it's kind of hard to get certain angles. You know, I can't go 10 feet in front of me and take a picture of my own foot if I need a certain angle, you know? So that can definitely present its own unique set of challenges.
Mm.
Okay, now I'm at a stage where I'm like, okay, I need more design ideas. More ideas. Let's see. Would you ever get a tattoo, Kat?
No.
No, okay. Never mind. No tattoos. She has bionic hands in the future. Oh my goodness. Bionic
That's an
hands.
idea.
That'd be cool. All right, you know what? Let's try it. Now I got to get a reference for bionic hands because robots and anything like that are things I struggle with naturally. So let's see.
Does that hand look natural? What the heck?
Which one?
Debating whether I should add that thumb I put in just now. I think I would. Yeah, hands are weird.
Yeah, I like having thumbs, so please give me I'm looking for reference photos, guys. Sorry. Let's see. We're doing the bionic arm thing. Gotta do it right.
Would you get a tattoo, Jordan?
Nope. Nope.
Oh.
At all. I was asked one time in school, and I would always joke with people, and I would say I would either get like a super crazy tribal tattoo on my arm or a Bugs Bunny on my back. Those are the things I would always say, and I've never been serious about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the tattoos. I mean, a lot of my friends get them, and sometimes they're beautiful. Sometimes they're kind of scrappy stick and pokes that you probably wish your friends didn't get. But you know, their body's their choice.
Yeah, I think drawing characters with tattoos is actually a lot of fun. Why I asked Cass, like, would you ever do this? Because it could be real cool if I put this on here. But if it doesn't fit the character, then what's the point, you know? So gotta find something else, which is why I'm glad the bionic hand or bionic arm came up, because that's really cool.
Art Prof says, Kat, did you place Jordan's figure onto the page for composition reasons? The cropping of the limbs, etc. Or was that an accident? For composition reasons, yeah. I just kind of did this without thinking about it. I was like, this will look good. Yeah, cropping it like this won't look bad. And you know, it's digital. So if I think, oh, I don't like that crop, I want to actually show his full figure, I can just shrink it all and then just draw the full figure of Jordan if I wanted to. So I hope that answered your question.
That actually reminds me of something. For all you guys who are using Procreate, just be aware that anytime you move something off the canvas, if you've already drawn it, it'll automatically delete if you try and bring it back in. So be very careful about what you move off if you're trying to keep something like that.
Good tip. Should have told me this tip the first time we did these tutorials.
You said wait, what? Say that again?
I was like, good tip. Should have told me this tip before when we did the first of these tutorials.
Well, I didn't know what to expect.
That's completely fair. I'm just kidding.
I've learned quite a bit from some of these live streams with you and Clara and Deepti. You guys have challenges sometimes.
Spider-Man logo. Drawing it here. You know, that's kind of appropriate that your other icon that I keep drawing you with is a lightning bolt. I don't know. I guess it could be read as radioactive too, like lightning bolt spider, radioactive spider. I don't know.
I'm cool with that.
Cool.
Miles Morales is dope. He's got bioelectricity, so why not? Why not include that? The reason I have the lightning bolt so often is in my character designs. I think I just wanted to add like a dynamic yet graphic shape that fit with this sort of African aesthetic and hip hop aesthetic, and you'll often see these like these really thick triangle shapes. So I was like, I know, lightning. That's easy enough. Let's see. Okay, what else can we put here? I think we're getting closer. Definitely getting closer.
So Tenley says, I think the cowboy pose cropped adds some mystery as to what is going on. Well, I'm glad you think so. I totally did that on purpose.
Oh, that's right. I was supposed to give you this little ink jar. How this would work. Maybe it's cross like this. Here we go. Add some diagonals in there. There we go. That helps. When in doubt, guys, use a diagonal somewhere. That helps all the time. Just adds a nice dynamic shape in there, and it's simple. Let's see.
Might have made this belt a little too thick.
You know what? Maybe instead of an ink thing, maybe this is a bag with all your comics sticking out.
Uh-huh.
Just a little light reading, you know? You have like half a library in here. Just manga.
Thanks. Yeah, call me out.
What? That's totally something you would have if you could.
You're right.
Jordan, can you explain why diagonals are helpful in composition? Diagonals are helpful because they're instantly recognizable, and they generally will distinguish themselves in nature. So if you're looking down a street, let's say you're in the middle of a street and you're just seeing buildings and they're just going straight down, and someone were to come in and do this and put a big diagonal structure or whatever, that's going to stand out. And so when I have something like this, it just makes it so that if everything's vertical or everything's horizontal, diagonals help it to make it more fresh, make it more dynamic, more pleasing to the eye. You can insert any of those types of adjectives anywhere, but yeah, that's why I do that. I feel like the legs are a little weird. Let's see.
Oh, you know what? I'm not going to put in your stereo. Sorry, Jordan. Maybe next time.
I love music. Come on.
Maybe next time.
Can I at least have headphones? Like a little earphone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was sorry. I was like so immersed in drawing cowboy Jordan that I forgot about the musical side of Jordan.
I love listening to music. I would totally be that guy, like Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy, who's just playing music while he's fighting people. Just got here, and I have to say I love the folds in the cowboy jacket.
Oh, thank you, Maria.
Let's see. Might have to redraw some of the face. Seems like. All right, Kat, is there anything else you want to add to your stuff before I start doing like cleaner line art?
I really like it. What kind of shoes am I wearing?
I was going to give you some boots. I don't remember how our discussion got to it last time. But
wait, last time you gave me those pen nib heels.
Oh, that's right. Pen nib heels. Yes. Thank you. Okay. All right, now we gotta make you a little smaller. So I gotta stretch out his feet. Yeah, see, I wish I would have taken notes or something because I totally forgot about that. Animal peels. All right. I'm not gonna reinvent the wheel here. I'm basically just gonna take the same exact foot, warp it a little.
I'm gonna put the earbuds like around your like neck, like a what do you call that? A bolo tie that cowboys wear. I'm not really sure what the term is. Darian says, I can see Jordan being like Star Lord. Wait, what is Star Lord?
Star Lord is the name of one of the Marvel characters. He's played by Chris Pratt, and really, really funny character. Very quirky. But one of his things is he just loves listening to old school music, like because he was kidnapped. He was abducted by aliens as a kid in the 80s, and the only thing he had with him was his cassette, and it had like all this stuff like Marvin Gaye and Motown and
I love that.
The Beatles and like all this 60s, 70s, 80s music, and so that's all he has from home, and he's just known for that. It's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I would totally have something like that.
Yeah, we were talking in an earlier stream about our love of Motown music.
Yeah, Motown's the best. It's so great. Do you know like Berry Gordy's like 96 or something like that, or 94?
Oh. Okay, now I'm gonna put the lightning bolts on your jacket.
All right. Oops.
Okay.
All right. Then I guess I should give you. I guess this spear should almost be. I don't want to say bionic, but should have some sort of futuristic element, I think. So let's see. What can we add? Some no, don't erase. Some rivets here. I feel like you.
Sorry. Do you finish the line art 100% before you color? Normally I do, but since we're kind of on a short stream, I'm not going to have really refined line art. As you can see, as I zoom up, it's really sketchy still, but maybe next time.
Yeah, same. I usually will finish line art completely. But as Kat mentioned, we ain't got time for that. The thing is, when you're designing a character, it takes a lot longer versus when that character is already figured out and you just have to redraw it. It's a fraction of the time. Angel says, hi, first time to catch your streams. I'm from the Philippines. It's nice to see an actual demo live. Oh, well, hello. Welcome to Art Prof. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for joining, Angel.
Trying to remember all the concepts that we had before. Little circle here. I don't know. Do you click pins or buttons at all?
I don't.
Well, you do now.
No. Okay.
Do that in the wrong layer.
Oh, but when I was in elementary school, I had an obsession with these really specific kinds of mechanical pencils. And I'm to this day, I'm not sure if it's called an A gel or a Z gel pencil. But basically it has like a rubber grip and it's super soft to hold. But because of like poor logo design, I didn't know if it was A gel or Z gel.
It's not the same as the sumo grip pencils, right?
I don't think it's the same.
Oh, okay. Because I remember those. I used to love those things.
Yeah. But those pencils were super expensive. Like one pencil was like $12.
Was it really?
Our prof is asking, Kat, why aren't you dragging the colors into the shapes to color? Because I don't have solid line art like Jordan does, and also I'm doing it on a different layer. Does it still work if I'm on a different layer?
Yeah, no. You can do that. You have to. No. So what you do is you turn your line art to reference. So go to your layers, and then wherever your line art is, tap the image portion of it, and then reference at the bottom. And then what that does is anytime you want to pull in color, it'll reference that line art layer so that you can color it the way that you want.
But it didn't work.
That is because you have open lines. But there is one trick. I don't know how easy it's going to be for me to explain it. If you pull and then you hold your pencil tip on the surface and you scroll to the left, sometimes that can change the amount of the selection it has. It's probably really confusing, but
just confusing. I don't know what you mean.
It works. It works. It just
just keep coloring the canvas red.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
But it is possible, guys. Yeah.
It's all right. This won't take that long either. I'll learn all the tricks later.
Yeah. All right,
David asks, do you guys plan on getting the line art any more cleaner? Not today, but maybe next time.
Yeah, I'm gonna see what I can do, but actually, no. Yeah, you know what? Forget it. We're not doing line art today. I was gonna try and be ambitious, and I was like, no. Why do I need to do that to myself?
But honestly, it's been a while since I've done digital art. But the last time I was really into digital art, I wasn't about digital line art. I liked the painting quality of digital painting. So I usually would just like nix the line art and just go straight to color anyway. So maybe I'll show you guys that next time. We have a question from Naftali for you, Jordan.
Okay. Jordan, have you looked at Nicholas Draper Ivy's work? He takes inspiration from African culture too. What cultures do you look like? Yes, I know of him. Nicholas Draper Ivy, he's really good, and I admire his work a lot. What cultures do I look at? You know, sometimes it's just a matter of finding a good reference. Sometimes I don't know which culture it comes from, but I know the environment or the country it's from. And you know, oftentimes I'll use like the Maasai peoples or you know, whatever else I can find to really inspire. And I usually get like a melting pot. That's kind of the way I approach it. I try not to take from one place because I think that way things start to look a little stale. Yeah. Hope that answers the question somewhat. So we got our line art.
Okay, wait, Jordan, can I get your point of view?
Yeah.
So do you think the bottom hand is too big?
I think. Can you turn off the color for a second? I'm distracted by it.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think it's too big.
Yeah, that, and then I also think the way the wrist connects with the hand is a little strange. Like you have the wrist connecting up here instead of down here.
Oh shoot, where did my? Oh, there it is. Okay, got it. Now I can select the color. Okay.
Yeah, but doesn't the foreshortening make the hand look bigger? Claire's asking.
Yeah, but sometimes, like maybe what isn't big is the hand. It's actually the waist that's small. Maybe that's it actually. Let me just like increase the waist. So proportion. Okay.
Foreshortening is incredibly challenging. And honestly, a lot of the rules you would learn about proportion, like I talked about the A-head canon earlier, I kind of would have to throw that out the window for some really extreme stuff because of, you know, just the way that you draw it. And sometimes you just have to go by sight.
Yeah.
Which is very inconvenient. Yeah. You know, whatever. Yeah. Gotta deal with it.
So I think both the hand is a little too big and also the waist was too small. So I'm going to fix both.
Let's fix this hair a little bit. Okay. Let's duplicate that. Make the lines a little darker. There we go. I don't know what this strap on the leg is. I'm just gonna get rid of it. Sometimes I add these random details, and this is something that I think will really be helpful for all you character designers or aspiring character designers. Everything you draw should have a purpose. I don't think it should be about, oh, this looks cool. It should always serve the story. And sometimes I run into that issue where I draw something I think it looks cool, but doesn't serve the story. Our prof is asking, do you think it's important for artists to learn how to draw fast? Ooh, what do you think, Kat?
To an extent, yes, because when you're doing observational drawings, especially when the subject matter is moving, yeah, you have to draw fast in order to get a proper observational drawing. But when it comes to your final work, everyone has their own pace. And it's fine to be a slow drawer as long as like you don't have a deadline that you have to meet in a very short amount of time. I usually change the way I draw depending on the deadline I have to meet. So for instance, observational drawing, that goes by really fast. So yeah, I have to draw really fast. But when it comes to a drawing that is not due for another week or so, then I take my time and make sure that everything is in proportion and everything. How about you, Jordan?
I think that learning to draw fast is definitely a positive for a lot of reasons. You can get more work
Mhm.
done. It being probably the biggest one, which means you could work more, get more money, all that. But I don't like the idea of um, worrying so much about drawing quickly, because I think the ultimate goal is try and get better. And by virtue of getting better and seeing your mistakes more quickly, you will become faster. Because I
Yeah.
think what I realized for me, what took me so long, was I was constantly fixing all these mistakes, and that's where the time just tends to grow. And if you can spot those really quickly, those mistakes, and then you can fix them before they get too bad, then your drawing is going to go by way faster, way faster.
I had a friend who based her drawing speed on those sped up process videos she found online. And so
Right.
she was drawing as fast as she possibly could. And she was good to a certain extent, but because she was so rushed, because she was so inspired by these videos, she didn't draw great things. You know, she could have done a lot better.
Yeah, that's the trap. That is that trap right there. Don't get stuck in that, guys. It's I don't want to say it's overrated, but it will come with time. You get
Yeah.
better the more you practice. Louise is saying, I was doing a study on linear perspective earlier today, and it was very difficult for me. Any tips? Oh, Kat, you're the perspective whiz over here.
You have to be more specific, I guess, because when you say something's hard, any tips? For linear perspective, I guess you have to really be careful of where the horizon line is and the different points you have. And just remember that every single flat edge that you draw in perspective follows perspective. So it has to connect to some certain point or another, right? Yeah, I guess that's my 2 cents on that. But then of course there are exceptions to that. So for instance, let me see if I can draw a quick example here. Horizon line, right? And then there are 2 points. So we're going to do 2 point perspective right now. And I draw a box, right? And it has to be in perspective like that, right? So there's my box. It's in perspective. But then let's say I have a box that has turned a little bit. So instead it is facing not quite like it's facing towards me, right? So there's a flat surface, right? And well, now what? You can't follow either points because it's right facing towards you. And you know what? Perspective wise, this is correct. Drawing a flat surface just like that. Because anything else, if this were see through, then that would be a different issue. So anything inside would be like here, right? And it would still be pointing towards a perspective. So this would be going here. This would be going here. This would be going there and there. So if this box were see-through, that would be how it looks like, right? because everything is still in perspective there. But sometimes you have to realize that not everything will follow the points, like this flat on surface of a box. That doesn't follow either of the points. Actually, it does, but from your point of view, you can't really apply the rules of perspective, but this is still correct. So I guess it's just doing it enough to know when it follows a point and when it does not. Does that make sense? I'm kind of thrown into talking about linear perspective out of the blue when we were supposed to talk about characters, so I'm a little frazzled, but I hope that helps.
Sorry.
We have a question from Angel that says, what do you think are the medium you learn best, from traditional or digital? The medium I learn best. They all have a very different way of learning them. They all require time, and they all require pencil mileage or pen mileage, the amount you use them. So I'd say they were all pretty equal. I just had to spend a lot of time learning each one. What about you, Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, I started, like many of you, I've started learning traditionally, and I think that I always think that that's the best way to go, simply because there's no replacement for that. When you're working digitally, you can hide a lot of your errors and your mistakes, and you could, the fact that we can zoom in this much on my drawing, like that's something I can't really do in traditional, so I have to rely on what's there in front of me. And so by facing that, I think it actually helps you to improve a lot faster. Digital is its own world by itself because there's a lot of tools that you need to learn that. But yeah, I definitely recommend learning traditional as much as possible.
Jim Zalewski is asking, is Procreate new to each of you? Which desktop apps have you used for digital? So Procreate is still kind of unfamiliar territory for me. Usually I use Photoshop to draw digitally. What about you, Jordan?
Yeah, I've been using Procreate for about, maybe it's been 2.5 years, almost 3 years now, almost 3 years. And I bought my iPad specifically for Procreate. Outside of that, I primarily use Photoshop. I also know how to use Illustrator, but I don't ever draw in it. That's specifically for more graphic design-y type of stuff, like if I need a logo for my project or something. And I want to learn Blender, but it is challenging. I have not caught that just yet. The other thing about Procreate that I like is that it's not subscription-based like many of our friends at Adobe.
Call them out, Jordan.
Yeah, that is an issue. It can be very expensive when you're on a low budget. That's all I can say. And Procreate, you just buy it once and that's it. Maria is asking, when character designers start to talk about how they work, I always remember Coco Chanel's idea about accessories. Always remove the last 3 you put on.
Huh. Interesting.
I've actually never heard of that before. I don't even think I know who that is. Sadly.
Wait, you don't know who Coco Chanel is?
Not by the work. Or let's say not by name. I know I've heard the name and I've probably seen the work, but I can't connect the two. Huh?
Chanel.
Yeah, it doesn't help me. I have a cousin named Chanel, so I automatically think of my cousin. So it's not helping me.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Put it in the Discord. Tag me.
Chanel number 5 perfume.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm laying you all down live on the air. How terrible. Soitenly says, how often do y'all have to change your eye pencil points? I've never had to change it. So I had to change it once, but not because I was drawing, but because I was rushing in the airport and my Apple Pencil fell on the nib while I was rushing through security and it broke. So
oh, dang.
In that situation, I had to change it. But other than that, I've never had to.
Yeah, I'm new to the iPad, so I haven't had to change it just yet. Sorry. No answer for you.
But it lasts for months. And even if you did need to replace it, you can buy a pack of 4 replacements for $20 at the Apple store. There's probably a cheaper version of it somewhere, but definitely not expensive at all. Kat, what is your favorite color?
Did I say red before? I'll go with red.
Red? Okay. Because that's going to determine how I color this outfit. Because, yeah, let's see. Oh, we need to put the blue hair back, though. That's what I'm missing. Let's put that back. Blue tips. Let's see.
This cowboy Jordan reminds me of Old Town Road, that song.
That's awesome. I love this. This is so
and
great.
This funky outfit kind of reminds me of Lil Nas X, the singer for Old Town Road.
I only know the hook and from like memes and stuff like that. I don't think I've actually listened to the song in its entirety. There we go. Yeah, we need to give. Put this here too. Oops. Then.
Here's a trick, guys. There is no such thing as the whitest white. Whenever there's teeth or eyes, I always make it off-white, so it doesn't look that scary.
That's actually a really good point. Oh, let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Great username, by the way. Do you guys use paper textured film for the iPad? I do personally. Let's see. What do I have? I got the case here. I use something called Tech Armor, and it comes with 2 in a pack. And I just got this off Amazon for like $10 or something.
I do not because I prefer one or the other. It's just because I don't normally use the iPad.
Well, Kat's basically saying, yeah, our prof forced me to use Procreate more, and I don't know any of this stuff.
Pretty much.
Just paraphrasing all the questions. Ooh, this looks kind of cool for you. A nice red jacket.
Darian says, I've been working on a character since I was 8 years old, and I have plans for him for an animated series. Any tips? I think Jordan has tips for you.
Oh, man. So, any tips? It's hard to know with just that little bit of context, but I would say really, as you're continuing to design, really consider who this character is. I think one of the issues that people fall into is kind of like I mentioned earlier, oh, this looks cool, and oh, I like this, but when you put it all together, it doesn't make any sense. So keep that in mind. Whatever design you do has to make sense for that specific character. The other thing, if you're looking to do an animated show, then you want it to be animatable. And what I mean is there are some shows that have that are very complex, like anime or something, but their designs are easy to be replicated, and they don't have a ton of things on them. You know, like usually you will not see a 2D anime character wearing a bunch of chains on their armor, because that's just going to take forever to draw. So simplicity in design, thinking big shapes, and there's tons of tutorials out there for how to really hone in on a particular design. But that's where I would start. Color strap should I get it? Maybe. I guess do this off white color here. Or no. You know, the artist gloves are always black, so I guess we gotta do black gloves.
Mm-hmm.
Go. Then this is starting to be a lot more fun. Yeah. Now that now we're like nearing the end, I'm like, oh yeah, this kind of worked out. Okay. There's something.
Oh, wow. Red and blue. Okay, my fashion sense here. If I were wearing blue, I would not wear red.
Okay, no, tell me, what would you wear? What would you wear?
If I were wearing red, I'd pair it with black.
Pair with
or
black.
some
Okay.
neutral color. But if I were wearing blue, I would pair it with like white or something like that.
Okay. The blue was left over from what I colored it in first, so glad you mentioned that now. And I forgot about this headband, so let's make the red headband a little red as well.
Yellow belt. I don't really like the yellow belts. I don't know. I'd have to rethink the belt buckle, I think. And also rethink the shirt color. I don't really like that shirt color with the yellow belt.
I think actually a white shirt would be fine is if you change the color of the background.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I said I think a white shirt would be fine if you change the color of the background.
Okay. How about I just give you a white shirt? Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Keep it simple.
Oops.
Keep it simple.
Why does it always do that? Okay, wait, Jordan, watch me. What am I doing wrong here? Why is it doing that?
Go
I'm
to
trying to.
your layers.
Yes.
Do you still have a reference layer on?
Is that why?
I think so.
Okay, let me give it a shot again.
Is that what you're trying to do?
I'm trying to turn this shirt white.
Oh. Okay.
You know what? Maybe I'll just have to paint it.
You know what?
If
I were you, I would actually use the ribbon tool. Oh, okay, you already did it. The selection tool, and then that color automatically. And then Jordan, where's Kat's fiery whoosh that she had last time? Oh, thank you. I gotta have the fiery whoosh. Oh, you know what? This would be a good opportunity to show you guys something. So there's ways you can copy layers in Procreate from different files. So let's say I want to copy the fiery whoosh thing. Hopefully this works. I swiped to the right on these and selected them, and I'm pulling these with one finger, and with the other, I'm going to gallery into this next drawing, and then I'm putting them here. So now, just copied those layers, and now she's got the whoosh. I got switch. Let's see. And then let's change this background.
I'll be basic and just give you a black belt. Whatever.
What you trying to say? You're trying to say that I'm basic?
No.
Let's see. There we go. Swoosh. Yeah, that color shirt is not going to work here, so we might just have to do a white shirt. That work here? Okay, maybe. And let's try the
Neftalis asks, have you gotten involved in your communities? I want to see how I can give to the community as an illustrator. Can you be more specific in terms of saying communities? Because I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Jordan, do you want to take a guess at it?
I'm not really sure. Usually, the first thing that pops in my mind is like doing like murals or something in certain communities that ask, but I've never been asked to do that. I need more specificity. That's kind of tough to answer right now.
Or you mean like give back to the communities that we live in or something like that?
Yeah. There's a lot of ways to give back with art. So, like even just mentoring people is one way that you could sort of give back. But yeah, I'm not sure if that's exactly what is being implied in the message. Kat, what color are your eyes? Are they brown?
Sorry?
Are your eyes
brown?
Okay.
They're purple.
You know what? That's actually more fun to do. I'm gonna make your eyes purple.
Okay.
Do a kind of a desaturated purple.
You know what? I'm gonna have like light shining in through the back.
Oh, that's epic. Yeah.
Oh wait, I have a maximum of 7 layers. Okay, time to delete.
Maximum of 7 layers? Wait, how big is your file?
Quite big, I would imagine.
You should, I have like, how many layers do I have? I'm working on an 8.5 by 14 size paper, and I got 46 layers available. So I
Wow.
don't know what you're working at. You must
I
be
don't know how big my thing is.
working on like a 6 foot canvas or something.
Wow. If I am, I'm very impressed by how fast this iPad can still function.
You could find out by if you go to the wrench icon at the top, go to canvas and then canvas information. You can find out. And then hit layers. Oh yeah, okay. See,
The dimensions don't seem crazy.
15 by 20.
Yeah, it doesn't seem so crazy to me.
It wouldn't if you were on a computer, but keep in mind you're working on an iPad, and Procreate is a relatively simple program, so it's probably more of a hardware issue than anything. Computers are built to do all this crazy stuff, but the iPad, though it has a lot of benefits, is not. Okay.
Sun.
Let's see how quickly we can add some shadows, just like an anime.
Darian asks, how can I upgrade my character designs? I like my design looks, but I still think it could be better. I feel like you have to draw again and again and do a variety of different kinds of character designs before you hit on the one. Keep in mind that for these tutorials, we're limited to several hours, but for you, you can keep working on your characters however long you want and not worry if your live audience is going to see them or not, right? So for us, we have to keep it within these time limits so that you guys can see what we're doing. But for you, you can just keep drawing however many character designs you want until you feel like you've hit on one that is, as you feel, the right design. What do you think, Jordan?
I think part of that question needs to be answered by isolating what you don't like about it. Usually, if you have some sort of doubt and you're like, this design could be better, you're probably right. But now you just got to figure out, okay, is it the hair that I don't like? Is it that he's lacking story? Is it that there's certain rules of design that I'm not following? So, and those are all very complex things, and they're almost theory based, if you will. But you have to isolate those and figure out what exactly it is that's holding them back. Yeah, and again, story drives everything. So when in doubt, always go back to your story. All right, yeah, we got like a couple more minutes. So last few details.
Oh my gosh, but okay. I want to add more shadow.
Do it real quick. Be very rough.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't have time to do all the fancy stuff. I got your hair is colored in with the same color as the shirt and colored outside the lines, and for some reason all your comic books are blue. And yeah, let's see. I wonder if there's a cool texture brush I can use like super quickly. What's this? Ooh, that looks awful right now. That is cool that it does that. So much pressure. Ooh, disco. What is this? Ooh, that's awful. I don't even. That's the weird thing about stock brushes. Some of them just don't look good no matter what you do with them. You know what? I might just have to go with the simple gradient on this one.
Don't give up, Jordan. Make me look cool.
It'll look cool no matter what I do. No, it's not giving up. It's time. Jim says, "I'd love to see both of these character illustrations available as prints."
Oh,
That's interesting.
yeah.
If you guys are interested, put that in the comments. Let us know, because there might be a way to make that happen. Maria says, "Just a random question. Do you guys have a go-to person to ask what's weird about this drawing? Can't figure out what's wrong." I think that's the benefit of having a community like Art Prof. So yeah, I personally have several people that I really trust who are unbiased, who are very blunt, and who are very good at what they do. What about you, Kat?
Yeah, same, absolutely. I have my go-to people, my friends and stuff, but there's also the Art Prof Discord. You can just ask critique whenever, and people will pretty much provide it for you.
Yeah, and guys, speaking of the Discord, join us in the Art Prof Discord on the Draw Alongs channel after the stream. We're basically done for the night, and please show us your artwork, and we'll post ours as well. Subscribe to the Art Prof YouTube channel, and last but not least, we want to thank all of our Patreon supporters. You guys are so awesome, and you are what makes Art Prof continue to run the way that it does. So we appreciate you so much, and yeah, thanks for watching our stream. Have a good night, everyone.